composure when they were down early on. We didn't execute very well offensively early on. Give them credit. They threw us out of a lot of our rhythm. In the second half, the team made a concerted effort to get the ball to the front of the rim. It's funny, the only thing that kept us afloat in the first half were two freshmen knocking down threes from all over the place. And we're going to have to do some of that too, but you know, we had to figure out ways for Jason and Doug to exploit a pretty sizable size advantage. So did a good job of that. I thought we did a really good job on Clemens. I know it might not seem like it with 26 points, but did a pretty good job keeping him off the free throw line, which is where he scores a ton of his points, and kept him to a lower shooting percentage than maybe he's accustomed to. And that was a tribute to not only Antonio and TK on the ball, who both did a really good job on him, but also our bigs and our guards finding places to help him. Jay Preston came over from the help side a couple times, and that was something that we addressed in film this week. I didn't think our guards were really strong in the help side. They were today, and we figured out a way to get it done.
This kind of game, not tailor-made, but you wanted to see your young team challenged and kind of have to figure something out, right?
Absolutely, and you know, I think we're going to be in those type of situations. The other thing is, how do you handle breaking a press down the stretch? And I mean, Jason really looked good, composed, inbounding the ball. Minus a few missed free throws down the stretch there, uncharacteristic of TK because he's hit a lot of clutch free throws in his time. I thought our execution against their significant pressure there late was really good. You get to the free throw line 33 times, you're going to win a pretty good chunk of games.
You said your club made a concerted effort to get the ball inside. In what ways did you not get it done in the first half that kind of manifested themselves in the second?
Well, one thing that we were worried about against the 1-2-2 is being up against the shot clock. So it takes 10 seconds to get the ball up the court, and then you run a set, and if you don't score off that set, you are in scramble mode because you really don't have time to run a clean screen and roll. And so we tried to run a little more motion-based stuff in the first half, but we didn't do a very good job of it. Second half, we just started calling plays like we normally do, and lesson learned. You know, I think we're all learning. I think my approach in the first half stifled us a little bit, and we needed to get back to what we do well. And TK's always going to go downhill. There's no question about that. He's going to attack. But yeah, it was an adjustment in scheme, but more importantly than that, it was a team embracing that adjustment and executing it. It's great. I mean, I can't say enough about the kid. He would have helped us quite a bit last year, no question about it. But how he's grown defensively, how he's slowed down with the ball in his hands and made good decisions. I got to find more minutes for him. I mean, I'm just simply not playing him enough right now. And it's a long season, so I'll get that fixed. But he's a very good freshman. I wouldn't trade him for anything, and I look forward to watching his development as the year goes along here.
And to do it in a spot where, you know, he can't just go out there and wait for his one or two shots with some of your better shooters being out.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah, him and Jay kept us afloat in the first half when really not much was going right. We got 6 threes out of those two, but they can both shoot it. And they both proved that since they've been on campus consistently. I've been waiting for Jay to bust out a little bit. His first 2 appearances, he didn't shoot the 3 ball that well, but boy, he's been consistently really good. We need that from him. And Ben, when he first got here, that's all he was. It was a pick and pop 3. In terms of what he was at the college game. In high school, he was much more than that. We saw potential, but we kept working on him. Okay, that can be part of it, but it can't be all of it. And you see him create plays for others. He's an extremely skilled 4, and he's pretty darn long, too. So he's doing a lot of things well, and old Ben's going to log a lot of minutes in a Bobcat uniform by the time this bad boy's done.
How do you walk the balance with your club of wanting to be unselfish, wanting to But at the same time, being aggressive, catching the ball near the rim, not
Twice. Yeah, twice where,
maybe passing up 3 shots there in the corner.
yeah,
How do you navigate that?
it's easier to navigate it from that direction than it is from the other direction where nobody wants to pass the ball. But the net, you're trying to put the ball at the front of the rim and then make a good decision. In that case, passing out of there was a bad decision, just like a turnover would be, just like anything else would be. For years, Doug had called for the ball more and more and more. Now we're getting it at the front of the rim, and he's not looking at it. We'll get it. It's just early. It is. I mean, it's early. We got to recognize situations. It's simply a matter of turning and looking at the hoop when you catch it. I mean, that is literally it. I think we can knock that out in the next couple of weeks. But you need to balance that with, listen, at least the ball's moving. It's a fun way to play the game.
Campbell hit a three-pointer with 12:50 left in the game. You guys took the lead, never lost it. How nice was it to see your team play with the lead like they did? It's something that wasn't there at times last year.
Yeah, it was a very steady second half for us. We just didn't have a huge lull. Part of that is there's two aspects to that I think that's different about this team that we can do that we couldn't do last year. A, we can get to line a lot more, and that bridges gaps. And B, we can get an offensive rebound here and there, and that bridges gaps. So you're not depending on, okay, we got one shot at the hoop. We're going to get multiple cracks at it sometimes. And, free throws, your goal is 1 point per possession. You go 1 for 2 from the free throw line, you still got your 1 point out of your possession. That's now obviously you want to go 2 for 2, you want to 3 for 3, whatever you get. But the other thing that going inside did for us is the game completely changed. Udi is a really good passing big, and really sets a lot of other people up. And when he got in foul trouble, that helped us defensively immensely. Bigger than. So again, those are tools that we have this year that we didn't necessarily have with Jason being out last year, and I intend to utilize them every chance I get.
Kind of asked the two-way sitting earlier the same thing, but did you feel like the offense was, and you had already touched on it a little bit, do you feel like the offense as a whole was sped up a little bit in the first half, seeing that once you for the first time?
Yeah, and honestly, our cuts weren't very good. It just looked kind of tentative in the first half, and that's no way to live life, son. So we planted our feet and stood our ground and figured some things out. And I told the team at halftime, I literally said to them, I can't wait to see what you guys are made of. I'm just dying for this moment. Got punched in the mouth pretty good. Clemens comes out and hits a 3 early in the second half. I mean, there's a lot of times where we could have gone, this isn't working. They moved the ball brilliantly in the first half. They had a couple threes hit by guys that haven't shot a great percentage, but they're good shooters. At the same time, you're picking your poison a little bit. Is it them killing you, or is it Udi and Clemens? And our guys stayed with the game plan, and eventually it worked.
If you look at the stat sheet, it says that first half field goals 14, second half field goals 12. Is it weird to see that on the stat sheet, knowing how much better the offense played in the second half, or did you kind of know that was going to happen because of the amount of free throws?
Yeah, I was going to say the number that jumps out at me is the 31 free throw attempts. That's I don't care how we score. I just want to score. If you'd have just showed me that first column, I'd have been like, oh boy. But it never felt like we were. I don't know how many possessions we went without scoring, but it was never too many again because we were buoyed by drawing fouls and getting offensive rebounds.
Jason mentioned it, but around the 6-minute mark, there's that possession where Ben passes up on the three-pointer about 3 times, and you guys are throwing the ball all over the place, which was good. Are you thinking to yourself, like, Ben, just shoot it, or are you thinking, like, I'm happy that my guys are passing the ball around like this?
Ben's a 4.0 student, one of the smartest people I know, and if he's got it figured out when he needs to shoot it, he's one of the best decision makers in life I've been around. So I tell our guys in the locker room, make really good friends with him because he can hire you and pay you all kinds of money someday. Listen, we work on moving the ball. We will take an open shot. And, yeah, he was probably a little selective, but he also had me in his ear going, let's pound the ball inside all half. So maybe he listened a little too much to me. He's going to be pretty special.
You're going on the road, so sort of, or on the jet, however you want to put it.
Yeah, you go on the road, you're going to have problems getting there.
What are you hoping to see out of the 2 games in the ocean?
Not in the ocean. Battle for Atlantis. Growth, just growth. I need to get a little deeper with my bench. I got a little tight with them tonight, and Torrey and Mason need to get some more experience. I need to find ways to get Ben on the floor more. Just growth. I think back to that Virgin Island trip where we went 1-2, but we came back from that knowing we were a pretty good team, and I went on to win 24 games that year. I would take something like that. Obviously, I want to win them all, but the biggest thing we can do is take each time we get out there and learn from it. Because we've got a smart, problem-solving group. So, more data, more intelligence.
Jason Preston, freshman guard, starting, does a lot of ball handling responsibility and decision-making passing, but he only had 5 field goal attempts. Do you ever wish he was a little bit more aggressive looking for his own shot?
Yeah, I really don't go into a game thinking I want this guy to get this many shots off. I want to attack where we get good looks. If anybody on the stat sheet I wish would have got more shots, it's probably Jason, who scored 24 points on 10 shots, right? Let's get him a few more. But Jay is a pass-first player in every capacity, one of the most unselfish players I've seen. And he's got an incredible knack for knowing when we need it. He would much rather assist than score, but he also recognizes at times you gotta put the ball in the hoop too. His aggressiveness will get greater and greater the further he gets. We're 50 minutes into his career. His role will expand.
And then Nations League scorer comes in, Antonio McCord defended most of the game, shot over 6 from the field, but what did he need defensively to help slow down?
Well, he was just always there. It sounds silly, but Clemens can get loose on back doors. He can score in transition. We did a good job of putting bodies around him, and TK also did a great job on him. In fact, down the stretch, it was TK guarding him. But you never feel comfortable with Clemens on the court, man. I mean, it's going up, and when that ball's in the air, you're thinking to yourself, it's never going to miss. We did a very good job on him. Both kids did a great job individually on him. But more than that, I thought when he drove, we got bodies around him from people other than just Doug, and that was important.
Do you also go on this trip to Jamaica for chemistry? There's a lot of
Oh, without question. Yeah. This is brand new stuff for a lot of our guys. So to have them in a different environment and to kind of be in our own little bubble and to do it in a beautiful place, if they don't have some fun, they've missed the boat on this trip. This is going to be, it's certainly all business, but you don't have to walk around with a scowl on your face walking around in paradise, right? I mean, you can do both.